Hello, welcome to Pension Nigeria YouTube channel. We're doing a series of videos to educate you on the Pension Reform Act. If you've ever had time to go through the Pension Reform Act, this will be a great revision for you. But if you have never been opportune to read the Pension Reform Act, this will be a great way for you to be exposed to a lot of information about the contributory pension scheme in Nigeria. Now, before we proceed, it's necessary that we inform you that the Act we'll be looking at is the Pension Reform Act 2014, which is the second version of the Act. The first version of the Act is the Pension Reform Act 2004, which was introduced on the 25th of June 2004. But the one that is currently being used is the Pension Reform Act 2014, and that was introduced on the 1st of July 2014. Our plan is to do a series of videos to explain the Pension Reform Act to you. So please subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you can be notified once we upload a new video. To subscribe is fast and easy. Just click the subscribe button below the video. And also remember to click the bell button. That will ensure that Google sends you an email notification once we upload a new video. We will start with the part 1 of Pension Reform Act 2014, which talks about the objectives and application of Pension Reform Act 2014. The objectives gives us an umbrella view of what the Pension Reform Act 2014 wants to achieve, and the application tells us the people that the Pension Reform Act 2014 applies to. There are 4 objectives under Pension Reform Act 2014. So we're going to go through the objectives one by one and decide whether the objective has been achieved or discuss what needs to be done for the objective to be achieved. The first objective under Pension Reform Act 2014 is to establish a uniform set of rules, regulations and standards for the administration and payment of retirement benefits for the public service of the Federation, the public service of the Federal Capital Territory, the public service of the state government, the public service of the local government councils, and the private sector. There are lots of uniform set of rules, regulations, and standards which the National Pension Commission has released to govern the contributory pension scheme in Nigeria. In this video, we are going to discuss just 2 of those regulations, but these 2 we believe are the most important ones for the industry. The first one is the regulation for the investment of pension fund assets, and the second one is the regulation for the administration of retirement and terminal benefit. The regulation for investment of pension fund assets sets out the uniform set of rules that all pension fund administrators follow when they are investing your pension fund contributions. These regulations ensures that all PFAs are following a uniform set of rules when they are invested. The regulation sets out the minimum and maximum levels and the places where pension funds can be invested. And this ensures that your pension contributions is invested in safe and secured investment. The second regulation we'll talk about is regulation for the administration of retirement and terminal benefits. This is the regulation that guides the way people withdraw from their retirement savings account. So if you go from one PFA to another, they will give you the same answer as regards withdrawing from your retirement savings account. This ensures that the PFA cannot just decide that they are not paying you the balance of your retirement savings account, because they have to follow these already laid down procedures for withdrawing from the retirement savings account. With these 2 regulations and many more that have been released by the National Pension Commission, we can boldly say that the National Pension Commission has achieved the first objectives of Pension Reform Act 2014, which is to establish a uniform set of rules, regulations, and standards for the administration and payment of retirement benefits for the public service of the Federation, the public service of the Federal Capital Territory, the public service of the state government, the public service of the local government council, and the private sector. The second objective of Pension Reform Act 2014 is to make provision for the smooth operations of the contributory pension scheme. To ensure that the National Pension Commission is able to achieve the second objective, the National Pension Commission has released a lot of circulars and guidelines which guides the operations of pension fund administrators in Nigeria. Some of them we are going to discuss in this video, and they are circular on the recruitment of top management and HODs, circular on the opening of branches, circular on contract staff, circular on the operations of the PFA, and circular on minimum information to be displayed on the PFA's website. These circulars that we have mentioned are just a few out of all the ones that the National Pension Commission has released to ensure that there's a smooth operation in the industry, we just go through some of the circulars. The circular for recruitment of top management and HODs sets out the minimum experience and qualifications before you can employ a person or before you can promote a person to the level of a top management in the PFA, or for the person to be an head of department in the PFA. And this ensures that people with qualified experience and the required qualification are being employed to such positions. The circular on the opening of branches sets out the things that a PFA must do before they can open a branch. So it sets out the IT requirements, sets out the admin requirements, sets out the staff requirements. All these are the things that the PFA must ensure that they are in place before the branch is being approved by the National Pension Commission. The last circular we discussed is the circular for minimum information to be disclosed on the PFA's website. This circular sets out the minimum things that must be available on a PFA's website. So if you go to a PFA's website, there are uniform things that are available on all the websites. And this is because the National Pension Commission has made it mandatory for all the PFAs to have this minimum information on their websites. With these few circulars that we have discussed, and many more that have been released by the National Pension Commission, we can also boldly say that the National Pension Commission has achieved the second objective of the Act, which is to make provision for the smooth operations of the contributory pension scheme. The third objective of the Act is ensure that every person who worked in either the public service of the Federation, the Federal Capital Territory, states and local governments, or the private sector received his retirement benefits as and when due. The third objective of Pension Reform Act 2014 is the most important objective, but it is also the hardest objective, because before PENCOM can achieve this objective, your employer must have remitted all your pension contributions into your retirement savings account. Looking at the federal government, for example, the federal government has not remitted their employees' accrued right up to date. Yes, we know that the National Pension Commission is working with the federal government on this, but we're still not where we want to be. We want the federal government to be remitting their employees' accrued right as and when due. When the retiree retires, the person should be able to start having access to retirement savings account maximum within 1 to 3 months. You don't have to wait for 6 months or wait for a year before you can start accessing the retirement savings account. This is not good for the industry at all, and we hope that the federal government is going to live up to expectation and start remitting these accrued right as and when due. If you look at the state governments, most of the state governments have not fully embraced the scheme. Only a few states are doing very well. Notably, Lagos State is one of the states that is doing very well under the contributory pension scheme. As for the private sectors, most of the private sector employers are complying with the contributory pension scheme. And if you work in an organization where your employer is not complying with the contributory pension scheme, you should not wait any further. Just report them to the National Pension Commission. And it's necessary that you know that you can do these reports anonymously. All you need to send to PENCOM is the name and address of your employer, and the National Pension Commission will go after this employer and ensure that they remit into your retirement savings account. With this, we can say that the National Pension Commission is here to achieve the third objective of Pension Reform Act 2014. Before they can achieve this third objective, all the employers must remit as and when due all the entitlements of the employees into their retirement savings account. The fourth objective of Pension Reform Act 2014 is to assist improvident individuals by ensuring that they save in order to cater for their livelihood during old age. The National Pension Commission has achieved this fourth objective, and this is because there are lots of rules and regulations that have been set down for the administration of retirement and terminal benefits, which ensures that you cannot just withdraw the balance in your retirement savings account. And by doing this, it ensures that when you retire, you're able to fall back to these funds, and this thing pushes you to save. So with this, we can fully say that the National Pension Commission has achieved the fourth objective of Pension Reform Act 2014. We will now go to the second section of Part 1 of Pension Reform Act 2014, which has to do with the application of Pension Reform Act 2014. And this application talks about the people that Pension Reform Act 2014 applies to. So let's look at the first one. The first one says that the provisions of this Act shall apply to any employee in the public service of the Federation, the public service of the Federal Capital Territory, the public service of the states, the public service of the local government, and the private sector. What this simply means is that if you are an employee in the federal government, Federal Capital Territory, state government, local government, or private sector, this act covers you. And your employer must remit your pension contributions into your retirement savings account. Now, the act further goes to say that in the case of the private sector, the scheme shall apply to employees who are in the employment of an organization in which there are 15 or more employees. Immediately the act was released and operators in the industry saw 15 or more. We knew there was an error, and immediately the National Pension Commission released a publication in the newspaper to say that it's actually 3 or more and not 15 as was stated in the act. So if you work in an organization with 3 or more employees, your employer is mandated to remit your pension contributions with your PFA. The third subsection under the Application of Pension Reform Act 2014 states that, notwithstanding the provisions of subsection 2 of this section, employees of organizations with less than 3 employees as well as self-employed persons shall be entitled to participate under the scheme in accordance with guidelines issued by the Commission. Recall we just said that the Act applies to employees working in organizations with 3 or more employees. So what you are trying to say in this third section is that if you work in an organization where you are just 2, or if you are a self-employed person, the National Pension Commission will release a guideline which will enable you to participate under the Act. And this guideline is the guideline for the micro pension scheme, which the National Pension Commission is working on, and which is scheduled to be released in the first quarter of 2019. This is the end of our video on part 1 of the Pension Reform Act 2014. In our next video, we'll be discussing the part 2 of Pension Reform Act 2014, which talks about the rate of contribution, that is the percentage that your employer must contribute for you, and also exemptions in the scheme. So we won't want you to miss that. So please click the subscribe button below so that you can be notified once we upload the video. Thank you very much for listening. Bye bye.